Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Friday and it's the 22nd of August. This video is for education purpose only. There is no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis. And let's start with Nasdaq today. It was a little bit higher yesterday to begin with, but then it ended a little bit lower, but in the bigger picture, not really much. But what is the interesting part is if you're looking at the weekly chart, we actually have what we call a doji, a bullish candle, and a bearish candle. So we have what we call a doji evening-like pattern, which is a top and reversal pattern. So that's unless really we see a very strong bullish market today in the US, well, that indicates top and reversal, and a correction is looming for Nasdaq. And pre-market, we are dipping a little bit, but still above this 786 retracement here at the last leg up, the latest leg up here. Still support, key support in the region around 22,665. The S&P 500, and let's just adjust it a little bit. Had this bearish engulfing there on the daily chart, and let's see if it also has what is developing on the weekly chart. Not a bearish engulfing, but it is trading below this bullish candle there on the weekly, so it also looks a little bit toppish for S&P 500, but Nasdaq looks has the strongest signal. Dow Jones a little bit lower yesterday, and they still didn't close above this resistance line there, which is key. Looking at the pre-markets on US 500 or the CFD/future, testing the 50% threshold here, or 50% retracement. And let's see what happens today. If it's moving lower here, I wouldn't be too surprised if that scenario plays out. The US 30, the Dow Jones CFD is basically unchanged. In the Asian markets, we have Hang Seng closing above the resistance here at 25,177, so it seems to be resuming uptrend. We are still an uptrend though, but it seems to, after this correction, we are pushing back higher. And if it then closes above the rising trend line and the 60 threshold, that will further confirm it for a push higher on the Hong Kong market. The Nikkei, testing the support at 42,520 and the 38.2 retracement. So this is the future. So fairly quiet day on the Japanese market, not really moving much, but let's see if it can bounce early Monday morning. But this is the future, so it's still trading, so keep an eye on that one. In European market this morning has opened, and EuroStoxx50 basically unchanged. Still struggling to following through with this bullish break of the resistance there at 5,468. Positive sentiment indicating we could see a push higher, but it seems a little bit fragile, to be honest. But there should be room up to at least 5,520, possibly up to around 5,600 area. The DAX index still struggling to get up and close above 24,445. And that is the key to do, and also that the RSI should close above 60 threshold. So there's a little bit divergence between the EuroStoxx50 and the DAX index. Where can it move at the moment? It has primarily been finance and insurance that's been running the show on the DAX markets. On the FX markets, euro dollar has sat back a little bit, trading just below 116 at the moment, and the 38.2 retracement. And I actually think we could see it dipping lower to the 61.8 retracement, 115.20. it's still the 117 level that is the key resistance area. Sterling dollar sold off again yesterday. Could dip lower, and I think it will, down to the 61.8 retracement, 133.14. Could we see a push down over the next few days? Euro sterling that bounced yesterday almost up to 50% of this downtrend here, could push higher, and I think it could push up to the 786 at 87 and a bit in the coming days and weeks. Key support still around 86. On the yen pairs, and we will look at the yen later if I remember to talk about the yen interest or the Japanese interest rate. But here we have dollar yen flirting with and currently above the minor resistance at 148.52. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see dollar yen higher. The 200 moving average will give it a little bit of resistance, but you can see it spiked above there, so it wouldn't be surprised to see it pushing higher. 55 moving average pushing higher, supporting medium term, short term to medium term bullish trend, and I think we will see it pushing higher here in the coming days and weeks. We could guesstimate and say, okay, if we add this Fibonacci to it, we are around 50%, and 61.8 is just around where the 200 moving average is at the moment. So we could see a move up there and then a setback, and then the next move higher towards the 786 retracement. Euro yen still in this range here between 173 and 171. That should be observed actually, yeah. For a direction. Aussie yen, well, it bounced from below the minor support there, but it bounced from the cloud support. RSI dipped just below 60 threshold, just marginally, but it did. So we are actually in a bearish trend and negative sentiment. And yes, we have lower low, lower high, and lower low. Let's see, will it continue lower? If it takes out the lows here from a few days ago at 94.40, then we could see a push down to around 93. If not, well, let's see if it can get back above, and currently above the cloud, but it needs to get back above a 55 moving average. And I would say, and I also add a horizontal line and say, okay, if it closes above 96.20, then we could resume uptrend, and if it moves back above this spike there, then it has resumed. Sterling yen, well, it dipped down almost to the 55 moving average, just around 198, and then bounce. If it takes out the peak up here at 200.30, well, then uptrend has resumed, but we are in a correction phase. Taking out the lows there from a few days ago at 197.85, then we were looking at 197 level. Aussie dollar flirting with the support here at 64.18. Minor support. It's not the strongest one, but nevertheless it seems to offer a little bit stronger support than anticipated. Could push down to the 63, 65 support area, 63, 60 here in the coming days. If it does bounce, well, it needs to get back above 65 to at least have a chance to resume uptrend. But for now, it seems like we are in a bearish trend, and also negative sentiment on the RSI indicating lower levels. Dollar Canada yesterday pushed through, and I think we will see it pushing higher towards actually towards the 161.8 projection of this correction here at 139.77, and possibly up to around 140 area where we have where we will begin to see some resistance. We have the 200 moving average coming down. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. And sterling Canada is still taking a breather. We don't seem to get this correction here, but let's see, maybe sterling can move fairly soon. However, positive sentiment, no divergence, and we are in a bullish trend, so I think we will eventually push higher. It's just pausing a little bit. Euro Swiss finding support here at 55 moving average, just above 50% of this uptrend there. Could bounce and climb back to the 94.50 resistance, which is key, but there is some strong support here. You can see the 55 and the 100 and the upper part of the cloud, and still positive sentiment on the RSI, despite the fact we have a bit of a divergence. You can see that the RSI is declining, where the market move higher. So we actually do have a exhaustion indication. So maybe we are to set back a little bit down to the 61.8 retracement. So I will stay on the sideline a little bit on that one. Dollar Swiss has broken above its very short-term falling trend line in this triangle-like pattern here, consolidation or corrective pattern, and I think we will see it pushing higher towards the 786 retracement here. 81.37 could push higher, especially if RSI gets back above 60 threshold. It also has something to do what will the euro dollar do, so and of course the Swiss franc. So that's the key here. Key support here at 80. If it takes out that, well, downtrend has resumed. The dollar index above resistance here at 98.50 has retraced 50% of this downtrend. I think it will push higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating we could see a push higher, and the next step will be getting above the 100 moving average. That actually does give some resistance, but I think we could see it higher here, given the fact with the positive sentiment, no diversion. If RSI gets back above 60 threshold, then we are in for much higher levels, and then possibly also means much lower euro dollar levels. So there's a strengthening of the dollar at the moment, apparently. The on the commodities market and gold is in a bit of a sideways trading range, and what I will do, I will keep an eye on this level here. If we get back above 3,358, I will actually round up to 3,360. Then I think we'll see uptrend resuming, but still key strong resistance in the area around the 3,400. And if it takes out 3,310, well, then we are looking at lower levels. There will be some cloud support here, but if RSI close below 40 threshold, well, then this 3,245 stronger support could come into play. So that's really something to keep an eye on. Silver has bounced strongly, but it didn't, not yet at least, get above the 38.30 resistance level that it actually closed above. So it's like, can't make up its mind. I want to be bearish, I want to be bullish, I want to be bearish, and what do you want to be? So for now, it's without clear direction. However, if it takes out the spike low there from the 20s, just below 37, then I think we'll see it down to 36, possibly lower to 35, 45 on. But it's not in the cards at the moment, but let's see. That could soon occur. So if it gets back above 38.30, then I think uptrend to resume, and it will be confirmed if it gets back above 38.75. Platinum bounced strongly. If it gets above 13.73, well, uptrend has resumed, and I think we will take out 1400 and possibly push higher towards previous peaks. Copper, really not much to say, just trading sideways, so it's still the 465 and the 433, the range that should be observed, and we are more or less in the middle of it, not really, not even testing any of it. We have the energy market, and WTI seems to try to bounce, but can't really get its act together and push higher. So it is debatable, can it actually get up to the 38.2 retracement at 65.20? If it can, then I think it will be knocked back down, because we have the 21 coming down, we have the 100 trying to also declining, negative sentiment on the RSI. I think eventually we'll see a push down to around $60. It's just about how big this correction will actually be. The Brent crude oil is very close to its 38.2 retracement at 68.30, and then I think it will set back, but it's not unlikely that it actually can push higher a little bit, but for now we are in a correction. So keep an eye on if it starts sliding back, and then a downtrend could resume with a potential below 65. The European nat gas has bounced strongly the past few days and has reached the 61.8 retracement here of this downtrend here. And I think we could maybe see it even trying to get up to the 786 retracement at 34.50 and the upper falling trend line. And then we have the 100 and the 55 moving average with a strong resistance. And I think if we get up there, RSI will also be rejected as 60 threshold, and then we could be resuming downtrend. If it starts moving back above there, then we could have a different situation, especially if taking out 35.67, and then suddenly we have a different situation where we could build a bullish trend. The US nat gas still humming slowly, still in this bearish trend here, and it's forming this channel-like pattern, as we can see here. Let's adjust that a bit. There we are. So testing the upper falling trend line. It's not the strongest one, to be honest, but still it's like a guideline. You can say you have it is a falling channel. Maybe it's actually a falling wedge. So let's see if it breaks out of that to the bullish side. That will be key to watch. Moving on to interest rates and yields. Well, US 10-year Treasury yield still dancing around this 430. Still needs to get it back above 435 and especially back above 440 to establish a bullish trend. And for now, it has really strong resistance here at 435. So that would be the first really strong obstacle. In the European market, on the other hand, there's a bit of movement going on. Here we have the European 10 that has bounced. We are in an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows, and there's still potential higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI. However, there is divergence, as you can see there. So if I just draw a trend line on these, so there's a little bit of divergence here on the RSI indicating trend exhaustion, but there's no top and reversal in place just yet. The UK 10-year, I think it could challenge again this peak here, and I think we will see it pushing towards 480 shortly in the coming weeks or so. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence indicating likely higher levels. Moving on to, and I promised you, the Japanese. This is actually Japanese 30-year we have here, and it has pushed above the 319, so could push higher to 327, and maybe we should have a look at the 10-year and see what that is doing. Also a bullish trend and could push higher. So there's something really cooking in the Japanese interest rates market, and there's potential up to 170 area. So that can do something with the yen price or the yen pairs. On the Bitcoin, testing the 112,000, actually dipped it a bit below yesterday. So 112, it's still key support here. Just tested it and could bounce. So let's see. But if it really get a break, well, then we could see lower levels, possibly all the way down to 100,000. But let's see about it. I'm not quite sure about that, but it is not unlikely. RSI still positive sentiment. No, so could bounce. So it is at a crossroads at the moment. The Ethereum bounced from the 50% retracement of this uptrend here, trying to resume bullish trends. So let's see about that. What you can do is say, well, maybe that is the bottom there and will bounce again. And then we have currently trading around the 38.2 retracement. I think if we get up to 61.8, we could see a bullish trend to resume. But if it takes out the lows here at 4,070, well, then we could see a push lower towards 3,700, 3,662. All right, that's a quick and dirty one today, and that's just what it is. But have a nice day, a nice weekend, and talk to you again Monday.